MTN News, this is Montana This Morning.
I'm Jonathan Amberian in Helena.
The dam that creates Ennis Lake on the Madison River is winning an industry award for safety. Just ahead, our Heaven Van is going to show us that dam.
Jonathan Amberian in Helena. I'll break down more details on campaign finance reports in Montana's Senate race and let you know about a new candidate joining the Republican field.
I'm Alina Howder. Here at the Yellowstone Art Museum, you can see Joseph Sample's collection of art for free. We'll tell you more coming up.
It's 6:30.
It is.
On this Friday morning. Good morning, everyone. Hope you're having a nice start to your day. Jane McDonald and Matt Elwell with you. Nice temperatures outside to start your day.
I'm kind of excited to hear more. Joe Sample has a lot to do with the television news industry.
Absolutely
It'll be
does.
fun. Yeah, the early morning temperature's a little chilly, but it's not bad. You can see traffic's moving along just fine in the mining city. Our morning temperature is cool, but man, we're going to be on a nice run again this afternoon. 30s and 40s for the early part of the day. You can see how clear the skies are to start things out. I think we're clear most of the day. The late afternoon, early evening, clouds trying to build back into the area. Pleasant, light winds, warm, all those wonderful summer-like feels. Well, eventually we're going to be throwing those out the window. Big changes on the way next week. We are talking the S word. Yep.
What?
Snow.
Oh.
Not that one.
Got it.
FCC is listening. I don't use the other one.
No, never. I got to get my mind out of the gutter. I don't know what I was thinking. Now, our top story this half hour. For more than 15 years, the dam that forms Ennis Lake has been achieving above and beyond safety standards for its facility. And as MTN's Heaven Van reports, October 18th marked the third time the Madison Dam has been certified as one of OSHA's voluntary star workplaces.
For the third time in a row, Madison Dam will be recertifying for OSHA's STAR program, the Voluntary Protection Program.
Northwestern Energy's Hydro Superintendent Jeremy Butcher explains how the site has been exceeding safety standards for 15 years to earn this title.
That's what VPP is all about. It's about that continuous improvement. It's about the ownership of the employees, of safety, and then the commitment from the company.
But the dam's history stretches back to 1901, with over a century of workers committed to maintaining the structure.
Even as crew members rotate in and out, the value and the tradition that these folks have is passed down to new crew members.
Workers live and work in the canyon, managing the powerhouse and equipment that provide local communities with energy and recreation.
The work that this group does at Madison Dam really actually adds a tremendous amount of value to Montana, value that I don't know is fully recognized by folks.
Over the years, its canyon location has caused a number of issues, from freezing temperatures to rock slides.
Still rocks that can fall from over the top of it. So we're looking at options to even protect more.
Despite these challenges, Madison Dam has remained a star worksite for safety, continuously upgrading their standards.
Plant employees, they get together and they meet with their safety professionals and they say, you know, what are our hazards here? What are our biggest issues here that we need to manage? And they make a list and they get after them.
In Ennis, Heaven Van, MTN News.
Thank you very much, Heaven. Now switching gears over to the political scene this morning, there are new details about the financial picture of Republicans seeking to challenge Senator Jon Tester. Plus, another candidate is launching a campaign. MTN senior political reporter Jonathan Amberian has the latest.
Federal candidates' official campaign finance reports for the last 3 months are now posted as we approach 1 year to go before Montana's U.S. Senate general election. In the third quarter of the year, Gallatin County businessman Tim Sheehy reported raising more than $2.8 million. That includes a $500,000 loan Sheehy made to the campaign, and another $100,000 he spent in testing the waters before officially filing his candidacy. In a statement, Sheehy said, quote, "Our campaign is growing stronger every day, and it's clear the people of Montana want a new generation of conservative leadership to represent them in Washington. Together, we're going to finally retire Jon Tester, take back the Senate, Senate and save our country. In July, August, and September, Sheehy's financial reports show his campaign spent more than $800,000 on media placement and production, and another $80,000 in digital advertising. Meanwhile, as speculation continues that Congressman Matt Rosendale will pursue a Senate campaign, Rosendale's House campaign raised just under $250,000 in the last quarter. That's significantly less than Sheehy raised in the same period, but Rosendale had more cash on hand at the end of September, more than $1.7 million to Sheehy's $1.1 million. Rosendale still hasn't made an announcement about his plans for 2024. Another candidate is also entering the Republican field. Former Montana Secretary of State and Public Service Commissioner Brad Johnson announced he's running for Senate this week. Johnson said he's running to provide an alternative, since Sheehy isn't a known quantity for voters, and Rosendale lost to Tester in the 2018 Senate race.
I'm doing this because I think there's a very real need for Montana to be represented by a senator who knows the state, who knows the issues, who has a solid conservative record. I can hit the ground running when I go back there, and I am absolutely confident that I can defeat John Tester in a general election in Montana.
As the Republican race continues to take shape, Tester's campaign raised $5 million in the third quarter and spent just over $2.5 million. That left him with more than $13 million in cash on hand. In Helena, Jonathan Amberian, MTN News.
Thank you very much, Jonathan. Now, back in August, a Helena district judge ruled in favor of a group of youth who challenged the state of Montana, claiming the state had not upheld its constitutional obligation for a clean and healthy environment. Now, the state is holding listening sessions on the Montana Environmental Policy Act. And MTN's Tom Buchanan has what you need to know.
The DEQ held a listening and comment session in Helena on Wednesday evening, allowing the public to come forward and voice their opinions on the implementation of the Montana Environmental Policy Act.
Dozens showed up for the session in Helena on Wednesday evening, including concerned high school juniors Haley Torgerson and Carter Sleed.
I think there's a lot of permanent damage, and what needs to happen more is prevention of further damage.
These listening sessions were started on September 27th in Billings and continue through November 1st. The sessions are meant to open a dialogue between citizens and members of the DEQ about the regulatory framework and whether or how it could be modernized. These sessions come after the ruling by Judge Kathy Seeley in the Held versus State of Montana case that ruled that the most recent limit enacted on the Montana Environmental Policy Act during the 2023 legislative session was not constitutional. Chris Dorrington, director of the Montana Department of Environmental Quality, says that these meetings honor MEPA by engaging officials and the public.
Just with the emphasis on climate and the awareness that the model rules from MEPA haven't been touched since the late 1980s, it's time for us to listen. We know for sure that in Helena we don't have every answer, and so traveling a bit around the state and listening to the different stakes all in one is really helpful for us.
This upcoming Monday, October 23rd, DEQ will also hold a separate meeting to accept public comment on their construction of the Montana Climate Action Plan. The $3 million to construct such a plan was recently given to Montana DEQ through the EPA's Climate Pollution Reduction Grant Program.
Reporting in Helena, Tom Buchanan, MTN News.
Thank you very much, Tom. Now, Joe Staple is a familiar name here in Montana. Not only did he found the Montana Television Network, which includes KXLF, KBCK, and 4 other television stations across Montana, he also acquired a massive art collection, much of which is on display right now at the Yellowstone Art Museum in Billings. And MTN's Alina Howder takes us on a tour and explains how you can see it for free.
It's no secret that Joseph and Miriam Sample played a huge part in the art scene here in Montana, and now Yellowstone Art Museum patrons can see works of art from their own personal collections all for free.
It's a place that's home to music, art, and now a little piece of history.
A couple of art lovers is kind of our fun take on Joe and Miriam's story.
The Samples have donated hundreds of pieces to the YAM throughout the years, and the family's legacy is still growing at the Yellowstone Art Museum even now, a year after Joe's death. And it couldn't come at a better time.
We just received a wonderful grant from Art Bridges.
This grant will cover admission for the next 3 years, making it free for visitors.
Which is so wonderful for the community, especially at this time where the show is opening of Joe Sample's work, because Joe and Miriam were both so big on accessibility.
I think it's very much an amazing contribution for somebody to give all this away for people to see for free.
Teen sisters Paige and Jordan LaFerge are aspiring artists themselves. They couldn't wait to see the new 45 works of Western art from Joe's private collection, the first exhibition of a couple of art lovers.
He built up this really encyclopedic, almost collection of Western art and kept it for himself to enjoy, while also keeping it here in Montana and preserving it here, knowing that at a later time it would be available for the public.
It joins nearly 300 works of contemporary art from Miriam Sample's collection, already a part of their permanent collection. And the two had very different tastes.
I think she saw a renaissance here almost in Montana to document the practices and what's happening here. And Joe saw a little bit of the history and the lineage that led up to that.
Joe's collection will be displayed till early January. Miriam's will be on display starting in November.
I feel like when you have such a wide variety of artworks from one person in particular, or from a few, you can really get into the mind of what they were doing and how they thought and how they felt, and I think it's really cool.
In Billings, Alina Howder, MTN News.
Just stunning pieces in that collection. Thank you very much, Alina. Now, we're going to take a short break here on Montana This Morning, but when we come back, when you're young, getting some solid advice about money management can really get you started on the right foot and set you up for success. But where are people turning for financial advice now?
I'm John Matteries. Many younger people these days are skipping the financial advisor's office and instead turning to social media for their money advice. Is that a smart idea? That story coming up.